So I've completed configuring a GNSS reference station to start transmitting an RTK signal over a radio. Now I'm going to switch over to the Rover and get an RTK signal. So I'll select Done, and I'm disconnecting from the base. Now I'm going to add a new profile for my Rover. Select the Rover option. StoneX is my make. S900A is my model. I can customize the name if I like, but I'll just use the default and pick Create. First step is to set up communication and search for the Bluetooth signal of the Rover. As it's searching, I'm checking on the serial numbers to make sure that I connect to the Rover Bluetooth. The serial number for my Rover ends in 228, so I know that I'm connecting to the right device. Let's pick Connect.
Bluetooth connected. Single.
Now that I'm connected to the device, I can see that I have an uncorrected position, and if I select on the Information button, I can review what type of connection I have. Right now it's connected with float because it's remembering a previous connection, but we are going to need to configure this properly, which we'll do in the next video. Here we're going to configure the antenna height for our GPS Rover. You can select the model of the antenna. Notice how you've got a user-defined option. You can also select what reference point you're using when you perform your measurement. In this case, I'll select the height mark for a slant measurement, and here I'll perform the measurement to the reference mark on the device. I've stored the measurement in the units of my project, in this case meters. Select OK. Now it's configured to output accurate elevations. We're now going to perform a correction setup for this GPS Rover so that it can receive an RTK signal over, in this case, a radio that's being transmitted from a base. I'll select Setup Communication. We can select what type of a connection we have, in this case a radio. We can identify whether the radio is an internal device or an external device that would be connected to via a serial port. We can go into the radio settings to configure specifics about the radio so that they'll match the signal that's being sent from the base. Here I can identify the protocol, the channel spacing, and the channel, and these match what I've configured on the reference receiver. Select Apply. Now I can tell from the audio feedback and also from the icons on the receiver that the radio is now receiving signals. When I select Done, the last step is setting up the format so that it matches the format being transmitted by the base. In this case, we'll select RTCM2. The base station ID is a feature that allows you to filter so that you will receive corrections only from a specific base transmitting a specific base station ID. In most cases, you've only got one base station on the job site, so any is just fine. Select Done here and select Start Receiving.
RTD.
I've just completed connecting my Rover to a reference base over a radio RTK link, and I'd like to do a check to make sure that I've got my antenna height set up, and I'll do that just by doing a stake to the base. So I'll pick on Done here from the setup dialog. I'm going to go to the staking section. I will add the base point that I've just stored to my list. Now I can see I'm being directed to it, and I have the base set up on a flat surface. So all that I really need to do to perform this test is get close to the base, level up, and just check to see what my cut or fill value is. So I'm looking at roughly 5 centimeters, and that's about what I'm expecting. So that's a successful test.